And loading. Better. Better. Woo! Kukulcan skin? Okay. Kind of looks like his other skins, but blue. But cool. Wow. That's a different Thor skin. That's cool. Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the update show. It's 5.10, and I'm going to be honest with you. Look, I love a lot of the work we do here. The patches are awesome. This might be my favorite update in a while. Okay. We've got a lot of great stuff for you. Of course, god fixes and balance changes, item as well. But this adventure that I'm going to be telling you about, it's amazing. It's the namesake of this update. It's Medusa's Deathmatch, and trust me, it's really dope. You just got a little bit of a preview, some of the skins there that we're going to be releasing with this update. And let's go back to those, get a little bit of a closer preview. We're going to go in-depth later on, of course.
I've been disappointed by the adventures as of late.
So let's start off with Galactic Void Chernabog. Now, this is part of the Slavic event of the Divine Uprising. This is your reward for getting that, that Slavic event complete.
9. Yeah.
Let me tell you,
if you buy all things in the Divine Uprising,
when it comes
you get
to value, man, this is as good as it gets because you're getting a ton of awesome skins from the Slavic
event. It's a pretty cool skin.
And then you get this one for completing it. Really good stuff there. Next up is Star Trooper Achilles. Achilles getting a little advanced, getting some extra technology. Maybe this will help his late game. He's looking good there with the white and blue.
I can dig that.
Advanced technology, kind of similar to the Artemis skin recently that I really like, that I've been playing a lot of.
I can dig that.
Polar Vortex Kukulcan is next up on the list. A little bit of mage skin love. You know, I'm excited about that. This is one of the... I love this sort of...
Kukulcan skins come down to the effects for me, to be honest.
Adventure.
Because he has such cool effects
Corrupted
sometimes.
Arena. Kukulcan skin has that. I use that one a lot because I like to have actual hands and feet to
I
use.
like Kukulcan too. He's actually... He's better in ranked than people give him credit for.
Violet Lord Thor, excuse me.
This is
cool. Up next. This one is kind of the brother, cousin, husband, something to that Aphrodite skin. The Violet Sorceress, I believe that one's called. This one doesn't have to make you feel as bad, though, because you don't have to play as Aphrodite, and that makes everyone mad right now.
Interesting.
Queen Cobra Medusa is next up on the list. This one
she ugly.
Involved with Medusa's death match. You don't have to connect the dots there. I'll do it for you. You'll be seeing a lot of this skin, I imagine, in the adventure.
Oh, it's actually
as
very...
you should.
It looks like a
And then last up is going to be Crystal Colossus Ymir. Look at this.
Oh, that's a Ymir skin?
Man. This is a big boy.
Really?
Right here. I'm
an
absolute unit, if you will.
Holy, that is an absolute unit.
This lad.
Oh my goodness.
That's the skins we got coming for
Holy,
you in
that's a big boy.
Of course, we will go more in depth, show off voice lines, animations, all that kind of good stuff later on in the show. But we're gonna get to the good stuff first. And speaking of good stuff, let's head over to the desk. Gabby and Isaiah are there to talk about some exciting updates in the esports community.
Hey everyone,
Hi, Gabby.
Agus here with Isaiah, and I'm liking some of the teasers that we've seen so far.
Definitely some awesome stuff coming up in 5.10.
Oh,
Super exciting.
So all of those teasers that we just saw, which one are you looking forward to elaborating on?
Definitely Ymir.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at him. He's so cool. The purple is awesome. Purple's one of my favorite colors.
I mean,
that's right.
I'm kind of on that page too. So I had to get with the vibe of what's going on today. But before we talk some general community-specific stuff, I wanted to let you all know about what's going on in the esports scene. And one thing is we have some updates with the way that account linking is going to be working with Mixer.
Yes.
You'll be able to link your actual Microsoft account to your high-res account to enable drops within our esports broadcast. So no more copy and pasting, none of that business. It's just added directly to your account. And if you don't have a Microsoft account already, all you have to do is make one through your Mixer account. That should be rolling out within the next few weeks, and we'll be sure to shout it from the rooftops when it is available, so you'll know on SMITE Pro, on SMITE Game, you can find all the information that you need, as well as the interactivity that's happening during the SPL, where we list the different actual players with all of their stats during the broadcast. Have you had a chance to kind of check out that?
Yeah, I definitely checked it out yesterday, and it's super good. You're easily, page through all the players in the match, check out what's going on in real time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to F'd Up before about that, and then the fact that Mixer, you can really customize your page and everything, your viewing experience. So I would recommend before tuning into the next SPL taking some time to play around with that.
But I barely even know her.
On the esports side, what do you got for us with community?
So it's Friday, and it's the start of the weekend, so that means it's time to party. So this weekend, you're playing with your friends. If you play in a party of 2 or more, you can get bonus rewards. If you're in a party of 2 players, you get 2 times favor worshippers and
party
XP.
bonuses!
If you're in a party of 3 or more, you'll get 3 times favor worshippers and XP. So make sure to call your friends, cancel those weekend plans, and get some bonus rewards.
So there's no such thing as too crowded of a party in that case?
Definitely not.
Cancel my weekend plans.
3 is
I need to
definitely
pick
not
up the
a
wife
crowd.
from the
I want,
airport.
some 5
Guess
minutes
I'm not
each.
doing
I'm
that
calling my
anymore.
buddies.
I like it.
told
I
me.
like it. Now,
Told me to
I actually
cancel my
spent a week
plans.
without internet and without a cell reception or
God.
anything, so I missed the
That's
spring
tragic.
fling. I had
You
to catch up
definitely
later.
missed out on a treat. We had an amazing time during the spring fling. We raised over $100,000 for
Yes,
Make-A-Wish,
you
which is
did.
amazing.
It's like
Hats off to
102
the
or
community.
103.
You guys are amazing. And we also hit some pretty cool bonus rewards because we hit our donation goals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe we're going to have a Jeff Hemlett and Barracuda announcer pack coming. I heard Hydras Avi is going to get some sort of SMITE-themed tattoo.
She is, and I can reveal to you right now, it will be a Khepri tattoo. So that's
Khepri
The hug
tattoo?
bug.
yeah. So I really love the commitment of a
Khepri
lot of people
tattoo?
here at High-Res. We
That's
hit
right.
those
How would a
goals
Khepri
and
tattoo
really actually
even
put
work?
that forth, and those announcer packs should be good. But there's also something
Yeah,
dealing
we've got
with.
one more donation goal. So if you guys didn't know, through the duration of the spring fling, there were 2 teams that you could put your donation towards.
Oh, please tell me
There's Team
Loki's getting
Loki,
deleted.
And if that team won, we would do a special match of the day with
please
all
tell me-
Lokis in a Gemstorm event. And there was
Please tell me
also Team
Loki
Make
got
Him Vanish.
deleted.
And if that team won, we're going to disable Loki for a day. And I'm happy to announce that Team Make Him Vanish won. So
Oh
on
my
July
God.
4th, there will be no
Yes.
Loki in game. So make sure
Yes.
to call your friends.
Nice.
Don't have to worry about that Vanish. Don't have to worry about that. Oh,
Got 'em.
It's going to be an awesome day of Smite.
I hear some hooping and hollering over
That's
on the
right.
sidelines.
Oh, Loki
already.
on July 4th, the
Now, we'll see
dream.
those faces in just a
The
minute, but it's time for
dream.
us to venture into the new adventure. Let's take a look.
Peace, Loki. Oh. Handsome. Venture into Medusa's death match. Okay. Three teams? Ooh, that's kind of fun. Wait, 3 teams?
Gotta say, before we get into this adventure stuff, I'm very proud of our community for raising a ton of
'Cause
awesome money
that's
for making
kinda
this Georgia. That
cool.
was amazing. But I'm also really proud of us for getting rid of Loki for a day. Good work, team. That was the right team.
That'll
Team
be
Vanish
interesting.
Is the way to go. And I've got a team with me here on the set now. I'm joined by Fishman, of course, one of the designers, and Christian Davis. Christian,
This'll
the
be
lead
interesting.
environment artist.
That would
for
make
Smite.
it
Guys,
worthwhile.
This adventure, I gotta say, I got a chance to play it a little bit a while ago as we were ramping it up. I have been waiting for this for a while. 3v3 v3.
3v3v3.
I'm so excited we finally got to do this. And that cinematic was killer. That's the first time I've seen it. The game itself
Okay.
is really awesome. So I'm excited to tell you more about that today.
Christian, what can you tell us about the environment? Like, what is the area that we're battling in? What's going on here?
Yeah, so we took a lot of inspiration from the old Clash, and we said we want to do all new art for it. Basically, we've just themed it around Medusa. And basically, the middle part is the tomb, and it has all this like really cool relic, and it's about this forgotten village and area that praised this middle area, and so it's basically just an old worn down village.
It looks really, really good. I can't wait to get in game and see a little bit more about what's actually happening. But Fish, tell me about this 3v3v3 mechanic. Normally in Smite, it's just 2 teams.
Sure.
How difficult was it to add that third team, and how does that change the dynamic of the mode?
It was surprisingly
wait to
difficult. There are a lot
3v6.
of parts of Smite that have been there since the dawn of time that just assume I'm either my team or the enemy team. So if I'm not on my team, I must be on the
can't
enemy
wait
team. So having it
to
actually
have
handle,
6 people
there are
come
multiple
focus the
enemy teams,
streamer.
broke a number of gods that we went back and fixed.
Thank the Lord.
And some like core mechanics, like towers and stuff, just all kinds of little stuff that just
So it's a
assumed that.
triangular
We've gone
map.
and polished all that up so that you can actually play versus yourself and another team after that. You can definitely get a spoiler in there. In normal Smite, it's just one team's ahead, one team's behind. In this, once one team pulls ahead, both the other teams kind of recognize, like, all right, we should really start killing them, otherwise they're going to run away with this, which adds a whole new dynamic to the game of Smite.
Yeah, it looks like you can see
Interesting.
who's on each team on the top left of your screen there. Nice little, easy to understand UI. So it looks like kind of an arena
Oh wait, what
thing,
the?
but Christian,
Is there a map
the
closing
mini-map,
in?
I'm taking a look at it.
Oh
right
my
now.
God, they're
It's
actually
starting to
battle
close in
royaling
there. Is
this.
that
Look
what's
at
going on?
this.
Yeah, so
They're
the
straight up
map
battle
in
royaling
total
this.
is separated by 3 parts, and then right on the outside is this big sandstorm, and it's essentially a fog that the sandstorm encompasses in and pushes all of the players inside into the center objective.
Okay, so there is a center
They're straight
objective.
up pushing
What
you
is that center
towards the
objective?
middle objective.
You fish, you want to talk about?
That's the death mask. So this whole thing is like a
Wow.
refound tomb to Queen Cobra Medusa, and inside you've got this little obelisk with her death mask on it. When you kill that, you get a buff. Your whole team gets a buff for the whole round. So if you see up the top UI element says round 2, there can be between 3 and 7 rounds. And for the rest of this round, you're going to have a buff on your entire team that increases your damage dealt. Giving your team just a little bit of edge on the other 2. So it really, in addition to the sandstorm, those both kind of push you towards the center.
So
kind of force aggression. Over
you
the course of the
definitely
match,
get an active.
stay
You see,
hidden,
they've got actives
over
and
in
stuff.
little pockets. And
Oh,
not
when you
have to
kill
fight
somebody,
and
you get a
be
heal
that way.
too.
So we're getting
That's
a little
interesting.
in depth here, but I suppose we should take a step back
That was
and just talk
interesting.
about
You
what the
saw that?
actual
He
mode
killed him
is.
and he
It's
got a
3v3v3,
heal. That dropped.
and it's round based.
That's
so
right.
You just have to eliminate the enemy team. First to 3 wins, right?
Sure. So it's last man standing. So of all these teams, the last team that has any members surviving the round, that team wins the round. And then you've got those little, you see the HUD up the top, you've got 3 little pips under each of the team symbols. And the first team to get all 3 of those wins the entire game.
Yep, when you're
Each
dead,
one of
you're
those
dead. You
represents
don't
one of the
res.
rounds. So be the last man standing 3 rounds, and you got the game.
So it looked like there were some potions around the map. There is some element of sustain that you could find there.
In the little watery areas, you can see a little healing potion. In addition to retroactive healing, it also gives you a preemptive shield. I believe 5% of your max health, so that you can grab them before you really get into the throes of combat and have just a little bit of edge for that first center objective fight.
All right.
Now, Christian, I see a lot of bushes around. Are you? And it looked like you were going invisible almost in those. Is there a stealth mechanic there?
There is. So there was something that was pretty popular with one of the adventures we had made, which was Nile stealth grass.
They really
So
put
I
in
think we
League of
wanted to bring
Legends
that back
stealth
and wanted
grass.
to play
They
around
straight
with
up put it in.
Basically,
That's
when
hilarious.
you leave your base, there are those potions
I didn't even
on the
realize that. You guys
outside,
were right.
And they're set up with Nile grass that's around
hilarious.
That's good for ganking. And basically, when you can go in it, you can stealth and jump on your enemy teams. Or if you're in a big major fight, you can hide in it and get away. But yeah, it's represented by the big tall grass, and they're sprouted throughout the entire map.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, but Fish, so let's role play for a second here. Let's say I'm a little tiny baby scared player like F-Dot. Let's just a random name that I just came up with.
I can picture it.
Yeah. So what if I just want to hide around until the very end of the round and not really, and just try and play cleanup after the other 2 teams duke it out? Is that a sound strategy?
Let's talk about upsides and downsides. So the upsides of that is that there's a good chance, especially around that center objective, that the other 2 teams are going to fight each other and likely pick off each other. So at least one of the teams is going to be down one or potentially all of their members, giving you an increased chance of win because you'll still be full members, full health. Now, the downsides are that each time you get a kill,
hello, watch out for that little lag,
whole
Deucey.
team gets a power buff, similar in strength.
Oh my God, they did buff Medusa. Look at. She has 4 Viper shots on her 1 instead of 3.
Each time anyone on your team
there
gets
is
a
a Medusa buff coming today.
So you can get to
wow.
up to 3 times for killing 1 team, and then up to another 2 times
1, 2,
for killing 2
3,
members of the third
4
team before you kill the last guy. And so if
they
you're
are
sitting there winning the
buffing
grass
her.
as F-Dot,
Dang.
Yes.
you're going to be weaker and
crying a little.
They gave her an extra Viper shot.
Yourself gently. Yeah.
That's
you're gonna have the safety of your whole team and full health, but you're gonna be at
That's
a
a
disadvantage
big buff.
by not having that power buff for not having participated in those fights.
That's a big buff,
power
son.
buff stacks. You were telling me
It
earlier.
does,
Like
it does.
It's pretty crazy. If you start killing a lot of people, like if one team wipes another, you have to get.
I
in
mean,
there
your boy
quick while
loves
they're
Medusa.
low
She's
before
like
they heal up,
one of my best
because this
ADCs.
power
I'm
buff
down
is
to win
strong.
every game with
So
Medusa.
it stacks
Like,
in
that's
2 ways.
fine.
One, you can just get one instance of that buff for each person you kill. So you can have it up to 5 times before you kill the last person. The other way it stacks is it starts out really weak. And actually ticks up over the course of 10 seconds.
You get thrown out into the sand? That's troll.
And I'm real low, and you're real low. I don't instantly become stronger and finish you off. You have a chance over the course of those 10 seconds while it's ticking up before it reaches full strength. After that, though, I'm going to have this full strength buff, and you're not. So I'm going to have a huge advantage.
You know, they really ought to trim down this map.
From getting the kills.
Nobody likes to get
potions
lost
that
in the
drop.
bush.
Those are little like death scrolls,
That's right.
Christian? Like, what was the environment as a whole? You know, you're in this tomb, but you've got to get potions and like a buff in the
That
middle.
could be fun.
How
that could
difficult
be a fun
was
game
that
mode.
to come
I'm
up
down.
with thematic
I'm down.
things that can kind of fit that role?
Yeah, so we went through a lot of different iterations, and we talked with the team about how can we divide the outside and the inside, because there's a lot of different objectives. The center objective, and then the outside objectives, and then stealth grass. Basically, there's 3 different teams, so we separated into 3 different parts of the village. There's the docks, there's the market, and then there's the fire brazier area.
Sure.
And so basically, we just tried to thematically make each section feel unique, and so when players are trying to either hide or gank, or
I'm ready, dude.
do
I'm actually
objectives,
ready.
They know
That'd be
exactly
fun.
where they're at, and the potions in the center objective just kind of.
This is the best looking adventure.
We did a lot of play tests. I was pretty much in there every day.
4
getting
adventures in a row or
destroyed,
something.
But as long as I
That's
knew
part
where
of
I
the
was,
fun, right?
yeah, it was
Good.
part of my fun, and the scrolls went up and down on how strong they were, and the scrolls definitely make a big difference.
Sure.
They also separate the rewards, so you get the buff for killing an enemy team automatically. They die, it goes to your. If the kills on your team, you get that buff. That's just going to happen. But the heal to help you be on even kill as far as health and mana, that you have to go and pick up. And if it's in the middle of a fight, there's some risk to going back into the center, and other teams can kind of plan around you going there and kind of try to set up on the scroll to punish you for trying to pick that up.
Sure. So how does the gold work? Like we saw that there were buying items at the beginning and in between
fun.
rounds. Is everyone getting the same amount of gold, or do you get it based on how well you're doing?
So you're going to start at level 5 at 2,500 gold, and then each round, everyone's going to start at that. And then each round, regardless of who won, regardless of kills, everyone's going to get bumped up by the same amount of gold,
That's
the
good.
same amount
This
of levels,
should.
until
That
at the
would
end you're level
suck
20
if
and
it
you have
snowballed.
tons of gold.
That would
So
suck
everybody's
so
going to even
bad.
kill each round. Now, some gods are going to be better at the beginning, and some gods are going to be better at the end, just like in our other modes. But as far as actual gold and actual XP, that's matched across all teams.
So you can try and make an early game comp like we got to win the first 3 rounds or we're in serious trouble, or you just got to stall, let the other teams win some rounds, and then we've got Mercury and Chang'e in the late game.
Both of
we
those
can
should be
start to
viable.
dominate. Yeah.
And one of the things that helps keep both of those viable is that you're going to have a little indicator. So on each of the nameplates, in addition to the normal health bar and player name, you've got a faction icon.
Sure.
So that you can see, oh, that's on the blue team, that's on the pink team, that's on the yellow team. Well, when one team gets 2 wins, they're going to have a little crown show up over their team to let you know, oh, hey, if they win one more round, they've got it. And so that's going to help you punish those early game comps.
So people
and
that
give you
have 2
time
wins
for
are just
the
going to
stall
get
comps
focused
to
out
come
their
into play.
parade.
It's because the other team will probably
Those are gonna
identify
get
with you.
crazy
Those are the guys who should be
focused.
fighting. And
So
help you get to the end.
So we already saw the skin that you'll get whenever you purchase the arena bundle.
shout out
or
to
the
new
adventure bundle,
ulti being
excuse
able to
me,
hit
which is
6
that-
people
that
instead of
Desert Queen
5.
Medusa. Not
Score.
only will you just feel better
Score.
playing it on the map, no real advantage, but look good, feel good, match the map. Doesn't hurt. That's all I'm trying to say.
Play skins
chat.
if you want to win.
That's exactly. What else do you get from purchasing this adventure bundle?
So we've got several thematic items. We've got a new musical score that we've got.
Okay.
We've got the deathmatch theme. We've got a deathmatch jump stamp and a deathmatch ward skin, all of which come with that bundle, as well as of course the 2018 gold key, which lets you get our new gold vault skin as well.
And that is the Achilles skin that we saw earlier. The advanced
Achilles
I forget
skin
exactly
is in
what it's
the
called, but
gold
you get it.
vault.
Close enough. You got what I meant. Before we wrap up here,
You bet new was
this is a mode that, again, I had a ton of fun playing. I think the different team comps is something that is really fun to experiment with. We tried to run triple warriors, thought that was going to be super good because we were like, oh, we just won't die. We died and it didn't work too well. What are some of the favorite combinations that you guys have tested with so that people get some sort of idea of gods that
Full
you think are
damage,
pretty good in the
obviously.
mode?
So the general strategy that we saw
Rush
was
damage.
you kind of go near your potion, and most people, there's very slight map based reward for doing this. Most people tend to go clockwise towards their nearest potion, and then wait in the grass until it spawns, grab that, and then head to the center, and you should be there just in time to contest the first spawn of the center objective. As far as team comp, what we saw being very rewarding was 2 really meaty warriors. Chalk, Hercules did very well because they've got some self-sustain. And then 1 damage and healing mage, like a Ra or a Hell.
Okay.
That threw down pretty well across various balances.
What about for you,
Healing
Christian?
over-
I mean, I know you were out there
healing
dominating.
over. Just run Chang'e,
Anything
dude.
you
Just
touched was working.
be a healer
But
with
what made it
anti-healing, call
feel
it a day.
the least fair to the enemies?
Least fair, dude. Picking like someone with range like Janus, and who can snipe the center objectives and stuff, and then even he could put his 2
That's
right or
amazing.
his 2 and his 1 right through the Nile grass and stuff. So if people are hiding, Janice is going to find them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mages, I thought mages
That's
did really
top tier.
well, but me personally, I picked nothing but assassins. Execute all the way.
All the way. And
Yeah.
Medusa
All the
looked like she
way.
was doing pretty well in that video as well. So there are some definitely different play styles you can go for. One thing I do want to bring up before we toss it over to the balance section is we thought that healers were going to be super OP. That was like easy free wins. And they were good, but your relics reset between each round. So you're guaranteeing a cursed Ankh on you every time if the enemy team is itemizing well. So something to keep in mind. Super excited for this adventure. You guys did an awesome job. Literally,
it'll definitely be fun
to play this. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's different
on the couch
enough
here
to
as
be
well.
exciting.
Let's throw it over to Hindu Man and Pon. Again, Pon, I'm really sorry, dude. I want to be there with you. I really do.
Yeah, it's
I need to be like here or something.
We've got Palm, but we've also got AJ too. No point out for about that for some reason. How you guys?
Got him.
I mean, we're doing great.
Pawn, Ajax, and Hindu's all fancified.
Oh
so
yeah,
handsome.
yeah. We've got a lot of interesting things.
So
to talk
handsome.
Yeah, people are paying really close attention to that.
Does Ajax wear anything else other than that?
They were paying attention. I already saw comments. Someone noticed.
Nice.
Which that is impressive.
Wait,
you really had to notice.
People's noticing the balance change for Medusa in that rather than looking at how cool that event's going to be.
I mean, people are apparently quite observant at times because I was impressed to see someone point that out, and they were correct.
My hacks are too good as online. Thanks the Lord I'm getting Rainbow Six
We're here for
updates.
the patch notes section. This is all to do
Why am I
with
getting Rainbow
balance
Six
and
updates?
bug fixes too. We're going to start things off with bug fixes this week as well. Something we do still do bug fixes. We've just not been promoting them on the show as much, and I think a lot of the community have been like, wait, what?
AMA is
Right.
live.
So we're going to take the time and do it.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of an
That's
update
actually
just
his
to
skin.
make sure
He's
everything's
topless?
clear.
Oh, Nick.
So
Oh.
a little while back, we delayed a
Oh.
patch that we took a lot of extra time inside the SMITE team to look at our process and just the order of events, the way we do things. So we delayed that patch. We made a lot of changes to our process. That's really what we did the most of. So this is not necessarily something players are going to see right away. This is something that we feel, though, every day in our schedule. And then we released PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all at the same time, which was really exciting. So since that delay, a lot of people seem to think that that's going to like ripple effect or anything like that. And that's why I'm trying to clarify here today, which is we are back on the 2-week schedule.
Okay.
Ideally, patches will launch on Tuesdays simultaneously.
Right.
But there's always a chance that they might not. We might have to delay it. This patch we had to go till Wednesday.
Sure.
That was for a small issue regarding the terms and agreements, which actually have to be fixed. It's not an option to ship without those.
Right.
Some bugs we can decide, but that one, no, you have to.
Have to have that
Right.
one.
So in the future, we will be aiming again for the 2-week
So, 2-week
launches
schedule,
on
it seems.
Tuesdays.
2 weeks.
But we will always update the community if there is any delays or if one platform is having any additional issues that the others are not. But that's going to be back to the normal schedule. So that delay not going to change things.
So the only thing you guys at home really need to know is that patch notes are now on a Friday.
Right.
The patch is still going to come out probably on a Tuesday. On the very rare occasion, it may come out a little bit later than that, just as it always has in the past.
Interesting.
So get over it. We're fine. We're back to normal.
Right.
That's step one. Step two, let's go through some of the bug fixes that you guys have been after getting fixed, first of all. Fixed issues where players could not scroll properly on the following pages: God page, season ticket info, glossary settings, social, ranked information.
That's been in the game
adventure
for, like,
information.
ever.
All those have been adjusted. Fix also an issue where swapping skins in the God select lobby
Oh
could
my
prevent
God,
the
that
player
was
banning.
the worst
banning a god.
bug.
Yep.
Holy.
Damn.
Fixed.
That's
God,
really
that
hurt.
one was
I'm
so
not gonna
annoying.
lie, like I was
strat.
Oh, yeah.
when I was first pick, I was just spamming skins so I
Banned.
could make.
Yeah, banning you.
No,
Stu.
no.
Yep.
Stu,
Someone get
Stu,
Stu.
don't be listening. No, that's
Stu,
that's
take
not
him
what
out.
happened.
Get him in here.
Honest, it's okay. After that, fix an issue where the scoreboard could display incorrect information after a player disconnects. Is that when the
That's where like
the
you
items
saw you
change?
near ADC.
That looked dope.
Community was
That
having
was
a lot
great.
of fun memeing these images. Like, look at this crit Freya. I wish we were playing Season 0 every now and
They
then.
went
but
all the way back
Not
there.
Every
not
now
actually,
and
just a UI bug, and it is fixed.
Fix an issue
Alright.
where the replay button would not function and could bring users into a bad state. No more bad
Good.
state from that. Fix an issue where the in-game mute button, text VGS, would sometimes not mute players. That worked.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
worst.
Sometimes when you hit that button, it just didn't actually stop them. From
Yep,
talking.
I've been there.
Now we can really mute. Console only. Fix an issue where viewing a friend recent history resulted in a crash. There
Oh,
you go,
fun.
console guys. You get some love too. Fix an issue where the thumb mouse button could trigger pings randomly on the mini map. Oh, that's a
This
big
was a
one.
fun one, yeah.
That's a
Certain
big
people
one.
with certain keybinds were experiencing this a lot, and it's funny because other players were like, "Oh, I've never had that happen to me ever." It really depends on what you're doing with your mouse of different brands and stuff with the different buttons. I've got one with a bunch of thumb buttons because I really like thumb buttons. But
some games I use thumb buttons, some games I don't. Smite
Yeah.
not one that I've really
Really?
used.
I
I know
put-
a
I
lot
put
of
my
pros
ability.
like to have relics on there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Some of those, just a quick
another thing to add is that this is not all the bug fixes for the patch. We just wanted to pick a select few that were really impacting players.
Yeah.
There's a lot more small ones. You'll see that.
They got some decent bug fixes.
And you should be seeing that consistently in the patch notes as we go forward. Long lists of bugs, and we'll talk about the most impactful ones on the show.
So item balance it is then. Let's move
All
on
right.
to that because that's a couple of the updates.
Oh,
Wings is going to be the first item or relic, I should say, to be adjusted.
Interesting.
We're going to be reducing the movement speed you get from this from 30% to 20%.
That's
What's
significant.
the big reason for this, guys?
So I think the big goal here is Heavenly Wings had this really powerful play that you can make early on where you picked it up, you upgraded it first, and then you, if you had a really aggressive comp, like let's say you had a very aggressive support and hunter that could make advantage of this, they pop this and just run down the opponent really early.
Right.
Which is a cool strategy. That's actually a really cool thing. It's just for the amount of power that you can get for doing this play, it was also really good for the whole course of the game.
You'll still be able to do it just because Heavenly is still such a good active to have.
So if you choose to opt into this really early game strategy, you can still utilize it, but the effect that you're going to have over the course of the whole game off having it is going to be a bit toned down.
It kind of gives the junglers with speed buff a chance to still be able to chase them down, I guess, if they're going to pop sprint to disengage.
Well, really, this change came from the results of the land and from discussion with pros, pro feedback. We saw this strategy working a lot. Pros felt that this strategy was strong and was fun and was interesting, but it was just a little too uncounterable, which is why we didn't make any drastic changes to the way the relic functions. And still, we're keeping the slow immunity, we're keeping the haste on the upgrade, because it was all about
that's actually a fine
upgraded relic at level 1. That's a really cool idea. But the fact that Heavenly Wings could also do that at level 1, as well as like bail out your entire team to escape a fight when you needed to late game, things like that. So that's where just toning down the speed a little bit.
I like that.
Should allow for more counterplay and still allow the strategy to be viable.
Don't think that is dead by any stretch of the imagination. After relics, we'll move on to Celestial Legion Helm. This is going to get a bit of a buff this patch, it says.
This is actually more of text fix.
This is just a text fix.
Why have you written buff?
Yeah, that's a typo.
That's
our bad.
Hate you guys.
Our mistake.
I get all excited. I'm like, okay, buff. Text fix. Increase the basic attack bonus damage. Oh, that's Hydras Lament. Wow, they're well ahead. So first of all, Celestial Legion Helm updated description text to make it more clear that stacks are only lost.
They buffed Hydras?
God damage. Right. So not from minions or
not from minions.
50% on Hydras?
Effects like Crusher.
Right. There was a lot of speculation. Some people weren't sure if it was doing that, or they perceived it as being worse item than it was because they assumed it would work that way. So just making that more clear.
So onto Hydras Lament, you can see it on the screen there. We're actually going to increase the basic attack bonus damage from 40 to 50%. Some of those junglers are going to love that.
Wow! Whoa! Why are we? Whoa!
Towards more basic attack focused characters. You saw a few others that were cycling through.
Yeah.
But essentially, for example, Hydras Lament is a thing that players can use when they cycle abilities really quickly if they're focused on getting a lot of basic attack damage off. Augmenting that from 40% to 50% really helps the item shine.
Hydras buff.
Low-key players for the day that they don't get it.
You skip forward to a mid-guardian male after a haste and fatalis.
Susano is another character that can weave auto attacks really effectively. And so those characters who rely on liquid
scroll it back, Mr. Guy.
Really
so a bit more potent.
Even the patch notes are buggy.
Works out. You saw a couple of items come up on the screen there. We're going to go on to Haste and Katana.
There we
next.
go.
He's going to get a price reduction here. It was 2,400 gold. It's going to come down by 200
That's
gold.
So good. That's so
this
good.
hasn't been picked up here or there.
So good.
I guess we just think it's just too expensive.
That's insane.
No, we really are just focusing on a whole subsection of the assassin class.
Right.
Specifically the basic attack focused ones. So we have Kali, Bakasura, some of these assassins that are really not prioritized as much as the ability-based assassins. So we're trying to look at their core items and give them
they also buffed Hydras Lament, which is like great for ability-based.
Statistically seems quite strong, so we wanted to go for a cost reduction just to make sure that these assassins are getting online a little earlier.
Woo!
Because the item has pretty intense stats already. It would feel like we were pushing it a little too far, I think, if we went heavier on power penetration, etc. So we went for the cost decrease, and then we're doing the same thing with the Midgardian Mail.
Yeah, I guess this is part of that. Midgardian Mail we saw on the screen a minute ago,
which is fixed the RNG on that item.
Earlier
which
on.
we, mathematically calculating it was relatively even in power, but turns out fixing RNG for consistency is a lot, like, even though the numbers don't support it, that's a big buff. Being reliable is actually a pretty big buff. So we're getting help coming down on that too. Make
Midgardian's pretty good. Pretty good, huh?
Similar with Hydras, we're focusing on the passives. So we're nerfing the stats here. So you really want to get this item to specifically counter some gods. Making this not so must-buy, hopefully could bring up those basic attack assassins.
Okay, also
it's not like everybody was buying it. At least they nerfed it.
To get this item for a hyper carry like an Artemis or a Rama.
That's good.
Like, maybe if they're an ability base like Chiron, probably not.
Right.
I get that.
And Pawn is the Kali and Baka special.
Oh, so that's why we're getting buffs.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course. I'm happy with this patch. This is
Yeah.
great.
This is
It's
a
either
great patch.
mages or junglers. That's all that ever seems to happen now. Item balance.
Mid
graphic,
Guardian will
let's
still
go
be
to
really
that
strong. So
and have a little look
So that
at
was it.
exactly what has been
Okay.
changed this patch.
And again, the Celestial Legion is
Not a
text
buff,
fix.
it's a text fix, but technically that is a buff, you know? If it
Yeah, if
fixes
you weren't thinking
the
it was right
text,
anyway.
it does work now. You know?
200
Hydras
gold
Lament
cheaper.
and his katana, so junglers.
All right.
Dream, and then Nerfs to Heavenly Wings and the Midgardian Mail too. So more
we'll see.
bits of focus.
Holding off on mage items for a little while. We've been doing shifting that a lot. We're going to kind of let that
Holding off
settle
on
this
mage
patch or
items
two.
because
We're
after
definitely
they
already
just
looking at some
buffed
for the
boots.
next patch.
Into gods, then we go. We're going to start off with Achilles. He's always been a terror in your games.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of nerfs already, but we're going to tweak
Oh,
his
he's
passive
getting
this
nerfed.
time.
Oh, that's a big
The
one.
physical power bonus has been
Dang.
decreased from 10 plus 2 per level to now 3 plus 2 per
Dang.
level. And we've also decreased the passive movement speed from 3% plus 0.2
Oh my
per level
God.
to
Rest
1%
in
plus
peace, dude.
0.25 per level. So overall, the passive's just been decreased slightly.
Yeah, so the power is just a
Outta
and
here!
The movement speed
Dang.
is a
There
kind of
goes that
more
early
so
game,
decrease
son.
overall.
Right.
And largely the decrease is
Woo!
focused on the early game. So Achilles, very potent early game. We've said it a few times.
Sure.
And his ability to like scale from the early game to the late game is kind of like where people can catch him.
Wow.
But his ability to fight in the early game is still too high. 10 bonus power really early on is
Just
quite good.
witnessed a
as we've
murder.
seen.
No, right.
And so we're turning that down, making it so that
Peace.
the early game choice, you actually might want to go the defensive route,
Right.
or you might want to go the offensive route. And that's also another reason for this change, is we were seeing a lot of useless of shirtless Achilles.
I don't
Which we
feel
love.
We've seen
so
very
good.
little.
I mean, a lot of
usage
people like
the
shirtless
armored
Achilles.
Achilles.
I mean,
Some armored would be nice now and
Yes.
again.
we want to just make sure there's a meaningful choice
That's
there.
fair. And
So.
we've had that issue with Ratatoska, for example, with the Acons in the past. You know, like it's always going to be one that's going to be a cookie cutter to an extent, but this is
Right.
kind of trying to answer that.
And you know, even no matter how close they are, there will still probably be
Sure.
the one that most people favor. But
Sure.
we just want to make sure there's that choice there. And the great thing about Achilles is you can shift back and forth too, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And we found that
Dang.
people were overwhelmingly going shirtless in the early game for that power and movement speed. Achilles was.
We should
in fact, like, the
overwhelmingly
most
go
early
shirtless,
game guy
shirtless
in the
as a
game.
society.
So we're trying to
That's a
tone
great
down his early
strategy.
game bit so he doesn't
Overwhelmingly.
feel so crazy impactful right away.
Yep.
Next up, then, is going to be Chiron. I mentioned him a little bit earlier on, but he's going to get a bit of a buff to his training exercise. We've increased the duration of the CC immunity from an instant cleanse to a 0.3 seconds of immunity, as well as we've adjusted the time at which the cleanse triggers from before the setup or pre-fire to after the setup or pre-fire. So that means the detonation.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one.
Is that right? Is that
Not,
how I
not,
read it? That's how
not
it
in a
reads.
detonation.
Oh.
I'll walk you through it.
Please do, because like
Um,
I'm going to be a little bit confused. About
So, Chiron, believe it or not, had a cleanse.
He did.
On
He
training
does.
exercises.
On his
A lot
one.
of players didn't know that. It was not very easy to communicate visually because
Right.
people associate CC immunity with the gold glow.
Of course.
And there's not that many other abilities that cleanse without that Geb shield being one of the only
Right.
ones. And that is, iconic in its own way, so it's very clearly visual. But, so what we're doing here is we're giving Chiron CC immunity on himself and
Right.
allies in training exercise. That's going to trigger the gold glow. It's going to make it really obvious
Oh.
that training exercise is cleansing people.
Right.
And it's a really short CC immunity, so it's hard to use in a preemptive way.
Sure.
But it's mostly a cleanse. We also, once we put that gold glow, you could really see the order of events on this ability, which was relatively complicated, actually. So what would happen previously is Chiron would start firing the ability before, like, at the very first second, a fraction of a second, before the ability even appeared on the ground. When Chiron started his animation is when he would cleanse people.
Right.
Which is just kind of strange and inconsistent for SMITE. We wanted that cleanse to be as fast and responsive as possible, but it was kind of breaking consistency and visual rules. We wanted to shift that. So now what you're going to see is Chiron's going to do his animation. It's like a little point. And then the ground circle is going to start appearing. That's when you're going to get cleansed. So it's got a very nice feel to it. You get this very clear boom. As soon as he finishes animation, the gold glow goes off. Then we have a delayed period before it explodes and deals damage.
And it's 0.3 seconds, so it's a very small amount of time.
So
but at the same time, it
you
can
got
be
a
very
little
impactful.
bit of
It
immunity
is.
now.
And one of the cool things about the
But it's- did he
timing
say for
shift is that
yourself,
there's
too?
some animation time. You
that's
can actually
nice.
cast it
in response.
in response to something,
Not
get hit
preemptively.
by something,
Ah.
and cleanse it. Although
so
it's
if you're-
very difficult.
Yeah,
So
if you're
on
really
gank
good.
attempts, then you could just like training exercise yourself and then start
interesting.
running, knowing that you can't be
Yeah,
cancelled
so
out.
if you hear that like Humbot's blink over the wall, you know he's going to ult immediately. You place that right
Yeah.
down there. You'll cleanse yourself. Maybe get out in time.
You might
It's
have.
also very possible that the other player just waits for a second though,
Yeah.
and then hits you after you cleanse early.
And
because
then- and
it's-
then you're probably dead.
there's a lot of skill to there.
You might.
And didn't we have another
have
change
some
for Chiron? That's I don't see on this.
super
it's
crazy
not on this list.
outplay
It
attempts
is
with Chiron.
It is happening.
I'm very sure that we put that in there. We did a slight increase on Masterful Shot. Okay, it's
Oh,
just not on our
interesting.
notes. Yeah,
Okay.
Masterful Shot. Great.
There we go.
Yeah, so this was not quite feeling that impactful. We wanted to up this just a little bit to help Chiron get
That's
that
nice.
bit of a tank shred, a bit of a more of a mark.
I love
Attack
Chiron.
that
I mean,
guy,
he's great.
but
I think
for
he's
3%,
a ton of fun.
people didn't notice that
I
much.
think he's
That's
underrated.
a
His
5%.
ulti hits
Still
so
slight because
hard.
it's easily applied and often applied, but we want it to work on tankier targets and in more
Cool.
cases.
Okay. All right, so 2 changes to Chiron then, both.
Good.
Good.
Those are good
spirits.
changes for Chiron.
Discordia, next up, a bit of a fix here just for you guys at home. Golden Apple of Discord. We fixed an issue where the apple could visually disappear before hitting a target or reaching its max range.
That's OP.
Obviously, I've seen that happen a couple of times before, but it's nice to have that sorted out so you can definitely see where it's going.
Yep.
First of all.
Invisible Apple OP.
After that, it's Guan Yu time. He got buffed. He needed a nerf.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a small nerf, I'd say, but in the grand scheme of his kit, but at the same time, this is a
Okay.
big impact to his healing, his sustain. 2 times to 1.5 times his healing. Pon, how is this going to impact him?
So I think this
There's
is
the
just
Guan
gonna
nerf we were
overall bring
talking
him down
about.
from where the recent.
Is that the
nerf brought
only
him.
chain?
He got a lot of utility. He was able to really reliably heal, slow, shred for a lot of like over the course of a fight.
If
he
that's
did
the
that
only
really
change,
often.
he'll be
And
totally
so
fine.
when you can 2 times heal for that base amount pretty heavily and pretty reliably for your team, it's pretty good. And we saw Guan Yu really skyrocket in performance. And so when we were looking at him as a whole, we were like, well, what does he bring to the fight? What can we tone down? What are the things that he really excels at? And one thing is healing, and healing is something we've also just kept a really close eye on in general, as we've seen healing kind of sneak its way into the meta, and people are still trying to figure out if it's necessarily a good thing to do or not. But the healing he brought was really high. Tone that down so that he's a bit more manageable to deal with. And then we'll see where he goes.
We're keeping a
Wow,
close
that
eye
is
on
it.
the
I was gonna
next
bring
patch
that
as
up.
well. Next patch, we are already
Because it's only
looking
just
at
started
changes.
moving
I'm
that
still
way,
banning
and then
him.
maybe we'll see some adjustments.
If that's the only
Yeah,
change,
we've
I'm
even
still
seen some
banning him
shifts
in
in the
ranked.
pro meta too. Like
To be
we
honest.
actually didn't see that much prioritization of Aphrodite this week.
Yep.
No.
Not that much. We expected more based on the land results, but not that much. We kind of went back to Ra and Guan.
We're seeing healers though. They're
We
creeping
are.
up.
We're seeing them. So Guan Yu, the
He'll
buff
still be
we're
so
really excited about that
strong,
buff.
I
It's
think.
super fun. Just
So,
made the god so much more fun to
she'll be
play.
way
His
too
pick ban
annoying.
rate went from like 2% in rank to like
In like a
60%,
ranked
which
setting.
is
It was a
pretty
big buff.
awesome.
It was a
You
big
know,
buff.
It'll
bring back to the
it'll
old
still
school
be
god
too
and
hard
really
to
make it
kill
fun.
him. So
But he needed a little nerf too.
Next up is HEBO, a very interesting god to say the least. A lot of people have been asking for stuff here. Now this is what we call a shift, because we're going to be doing some love to him, but also decreasing some things that players may find frustrating here. So before you all panic about seeing increased base HP,
'Cause
from
I'm about to
360
panic.
400, well, that's the buff alongside decreases HP per level, which is a nerf actually, from 68 to 67. So he gets more base health at the start, but it's less as he levels up. This goes alongside the water cannon adjustment here as well. So we're going to be reducing the amount of damage water cannon does. It was 90 to 290. It's going to start a little bit lower now. 70, still going up to 290 in the late game though. So HEBO's early game healthier, but weaker.
Yes.
Yeah. So HEBO was really causing a lot of ranked frustration mostly.
That's
His,
right.
Yeah.
His priority was super high. His performance was very strong. And this ability that does about as much damage as a normal mage attack was on an extremely low cooldown.
Yes.
It still is.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Right?
still is.
And we love that.
30
You know,
seconds.
the very
Right.
low cooldown of that ability and that close range and juking around on your river ability later. This is the feel of HEBO
Rest
that's really
in peace,
important. But
Paul.
we wanted to do a little bit of shift here. It
was nice
what
knowing
we
you.
perceive is definitely more of a nerf.
Okay.
He's getting
Peace
about
out, Paul.
15 HP or something.
This is my
at the
chance to
end
get
of the
number
game
1 in
and-
ranked.
and 40 at the beginning of the game,
Right.
35. But to sacrifice a good bit of his damage, where he really is a bad snowball character.
Yeah.
He can, if he takes off early, it's a real trouble. And also he was like
Real trouble.
crazy squishy compared to a lot of the other mages. So
Yeah.
want to just take a look at those stats and look at those frustration reasons.
Yeah,
So
he was,
as you
he
can see
was
by the
getting
numbers as well, I mean, realistically, everything is gone down in terms of damage except the last rank of that ability is going
Yeah.
to stay the same.
Yeah, and so you can see like he ends about the same power level as he does currently,
Right.
but in the early game that's where you have the largest bit of the shift, and that's also where he's the most
Interesting.
volatile, where he can really snowball suddenly
Sure.
or get shut down suddenly, evening that up so his power's a little bit more
Alright.
consistent, a little bit less frustrating to fight against, scaling to the same point.
And FX wave clear too.
Very
We'll be
interesting.
keeping an eye on him though, because he's
Yeah.
still surprisingly highly prioritized.
I still don't know,
ranked
to be
all
honest, if I
customers.
want to deal with him.
Just like a-
I still
Like
think I
these,
might
he's a-
ban
he's a
HEBO
box
and
stopper.
Guan
That's
unless
what
something
those
else
guys do.
really becomes
Kukulcan,
OP.
a bit of
you
a
know?
fix for him this
Oh,
patch.
I thought
Whirlwind
they were
fixed an issue
buffing
where the
him. I
tornado
love
that appears on
Kukulcan.
targets afflicted by Whirlwind would appear horizontal.
Okay.
Oh,
I haven't seen that one too
I haven't
much. It
seen
sounds
that, but
interesting,
okay.
though. But I'm
It's-
glad we
There's
fixed
some fun
interesting.
screenshots.
That's
Okay,
interesting,
good.
that's for
That's
sure.
good.
Also, another fix for Kuzumbo in
Yeah,
here.
basically
Watery
it's
Graves
savage.
reduce the forgiveness timer between. Oh, this isn't a fix, it's more of a buff, I
It,
guess.
it
is a
is.
buff.
It is a buff.
Okay.
Okay.
Reduce the forgiveness timer between individuals to hit back from 0.7 to 0.6 from this ability. This was due to a bug where players would most likely not get hit 4 times in his ultimate, even if they should have.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a weird.
Interesting.
It was intended to have
A bit of
a
like
timing,
forgiveness,
so
yeah.
you don't like. Obviously, we could make an ability hit pulse, right?
Right.
We want to pick the pulse time, but this
Weird.
ability had kind of weird timing where when you added up all the pulses and the total duration of the ability, you had like a 0.1 second, like
To hit all
tiny
of
little
them.
window. No, you
Right.
couldn't even hit anyone.
Oh, right,
It was
okay.
actually impossible to get that last hit. So you had essentially what was a whole like 0.6 seconds of wasted time,
Oh
where
my
they
gosh.
looked like they were in the ultimate.
And we just buffed Kuzumbo as well
so
last
we
patch.
fixed
Wow.
that to make his
Interesting.
ultimate
gotta have
total
mercy.
duration hit the number of pulses match up.
So
Yes.
we'd actually had a secret
Interesting.
nerf on him and nobody knew about it, and now he's been buffed.
It's always been
Yeah.
like that for
Sure,
quite a while.
but I'm
this
saying, like, that's
specific
kinda what it
issue.
is. It's
But
kinda
now it
cool.
is a buff. It was something more of
Okay.
a frustration or a feels or like a weird
Interesting.
feedback thing where like,
Okay.
holy cow, it felt like that guy was standing in my ultimate for quite
But
a
I didn't
while, but
get
it
him.
didn't hit him because 0.7 seconds is actually quite a long time.
Sure.
In SMITE terms.
Yeah.
Just shifting that to 0.6 a little bit, making sure you get that extra hit.
Okay, well, Chiron trend exercise
Okay.
maybe needed there. Medusa buff as well.
Yep, there
A couple of
it
people
is.
Noticed it, and it's a small change.
There's
to
the
Viper Shot.
fourth
It's gonna get
Viper
a bit
Shot,
of a, I'd say the
dude.
Hachiman treatment of basically as you level up Viper Shot, you'll get
We
more
saw that
shots
one
available to get
earlier.
that. Medusa
In the
has seen a
adventure
little bit of
gameplay.
play, but at the same time, she's still on the lower
That's a
rank one.
great late
So
game
in
buff.
SPS,
That's
she's on the lower end of
huge.
scene play, and additionally, overall performance
Right.
has been she's been on the bottom end of hunters for quite some time. We've been watching her really closely because she has the potential to really impact a team fight and impact trading really well. But we just haven't seen that this season, especially as hunter builds have kind of stabilized out a bit after all the early changes. And so Medusa, after seeing her sit that low for that long, seeing the fact that like all
It's
the
at the
other
late
shifts
game
haven't
too,
really
which is
helped her,
good.
brought her into light, giving her some love so that she can trade a bit more effectively in the late game.
It just feels like the sort of right ability to look at doing that on as well, because she's got a lot of damage already. She's got a great control in team fight, so maybe this is just the last little tweak she needs.
Yep, and you have to land them.
Okay, that makes sense. You got to land the damage.
I like
Next up, Naja with a bit of a fix here. Windfire Wields fixing
Okay.
an issue where the target hit by this ultimate could move side to side
Yes.
while landing.
Oh
So
my
they could
god, that was
kind
the
of reposition
worst.
themselves
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a
Very slightly.
complicated ultimate, a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on. But players
Yes.
with the proper timing window on their way back down, there's a little bounce, a little knock up,
Right.
and good players were moving themselves out of
Okay.
the way. So now you're going to always knock straight up on that.
So always straight down.
Always. Yeah,
Okay, well, it makes those still ultimates a little bit easier for mouse spots. If they
yeah
might
those
take
raw
them too
combos, etc.
The Naja Scylla.
Naja Ra is popular.
Naja Scylla is the most famous one.
Yeah, that
though,
one's
through
fun.
the years. Nike, next up.
Good.
She's going to get a bit of a buff this patch. and
I
it's a
thought she was OP.
pretty big buff. Sentinel of Zeus. This ability will slow enemies by 40%.
Didn't we decide she was
whether
OP?
her plan of action
What
is
happened to
active
her
or
being
not.
statistically
Wow.
OP?
Yeah,
What
pretty big
happened?
change.
Wow. So this actually
What
changes
happened?
the potential order that you use the abilities and
Hello?
engages. Or
Yeah.
makes her want to engage a little bit more.
So that's what we largely did this change for. Was we saw a lot of feedback. We see Nike's performance, her ability to impact team fights is actually quite high, but we got consistent feedback that she just didn't feel as impactful.
Yeah.
The choices she was making, you really weren't making a choice.
Nobody
because when
liked
you went
Nike.
in, you wanted to plan of action the ult because you got the slow, you got the giant health
Sure.
shield, and so you often didn't use it on Ren, you didn't use it on your leap. And so by making it so that you always get that slow, now your
Okay.
plan of action, you might be like, well, I actually don't need the tankiness from the extra shield.
Okay.
Maybe I want to leap in quicker, try to get more people with my slow.
Certainly
Or maybe I
interesting.
want to actually use the disarm to deal with that hunter that is actually really impactful right now. And so
So
by
is she
moving
the
slow
most
there,
OP
you
or
free up
not?
choice for Nike players to really experiment with where they want to use plan of action.
Okay, that makes a
Make
little
up
bit
your
more sense.
mind.
I
Yeah,
understand
they'll
that
still
one.
be a sacrifice if they want to do the more
Sure.
aggressive route because they won't get the shield.
Yeah.
And the ability already slowed. We're just giving it the full
Yes.
slow,
Right.
whether your plan of action or
A
not.
stronger slow,
but
basically.
what we like about this the most is it changes up Nike's possible ability order, right?
Yeah.
Especially for choosing offense or defense. I think too many times right now Nike's just kind of running around, and then when you're about to die, you plan of
Pop the
action your
shield.
ult. And
Yeah.
most of our players giving us feedback that's not the most exciting way to play.
Sure.
So with this change, you should get a lot more incentive to actually plan of action your
Cool.
leap and get in there.
That's fine.
And last on the
It's
list
not bad.
then, for the section this week is a fix for the Mana Colossal Fury,
Oh,
fixing an
just a
issue where
fix.
Colossal Fury was not getting extended duration for taking damage.
Huh, that's a
There's a bug.
that's not a good
Oh,
bug.
no, he's going to be even
That's
stronger.
a pretty
Have a look
detrimental
at the
bug.
graphic for you guys at home, for you guys to just take a look and
Actually.
see exactly
Holy.
what happened here. Chiron, Medusa, Nike Love, bit of a nerf to Achilles and Guan Yu. obviously some bug fixes there for the ones in changes, and that HEBO adjustment as well, which gives them a bit more health but less damage.
A lot of gods, a lot of bug
Obviously,
fixes.
there's not a whole lot of balance changes this week. There's just some flittering towards certain gods. Is there going to be bigger changes in the future? Obviously, you mentioned healing. Is there any focus towards that later, or is this
we're looking
good
towards
right now?
healing for sure. We're also getting close to mid-season. You know, about 3 patches away for that, so we're looking at a lot of bigger changes, conquest adjustments and stuff like that for that. Change.
I didn't realize
we have
I
some
guess it's
pretty
6 months
interesting
in.
balance changes still coming up in the next few patches. One of the things we're really looking at a lot is some older gods.
The mid-year
we have a lot
patch.
of older gods that are performing super well still. You know, Athena, but we recently revived Xbalanque and Guan Yu with relatively simple changes, and which is really exciting. So we're looking to do that on a few more gods in the next coming patches.
Cool.
And of course, we're spending a lot more, putting a lot more weight on picks and bans, and just overall prevalence of the god, even if the performance does not necessarily sync up. So we're going to constantly
I
be
think
looking.
Nike's a good example of that, I guess, because a lot of people think like she's strong from what people can say, but no one plays her.
I mean, Achilles too, we're nerfing Achilles because he's still just he's being 99% of games.
That's fair.
Which is just too many. So we're looking at his casual. He's such a fun god.
Which is just too many.
His casual and ranked performance are not that astounding.
Right.
But we're really focusing on that more. So
that's interesting. They're going to focus more on the picks and ban section than
gods that are dominating the meta in picks. We're going to be constantly looking to nerf them.
Kind of like that.
See some old school gods that hopefully we can find some small tweaks to make big impacts like we did on Guan.
I like having more of a focus on the picks and ban phase kind of dealio compared to necessary performance within.
From us 3 on the desk, it's time to get it over to Aggro to go through those exciting looking skins we've got this week.
Thanks for the hands there.
It's different,
AJ.
but
I
it's
appreciate
cool.
that. I never would have known it was my turn to talk without those. It's time for skins. You heard them right.
Okay.
And joining me here on the casual set, it's Tina and Ashley, some of the fan favorites. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Hey,
Hi, Tina. Hi,
Pretty
Ashley.
good. Pretty good. Can't complain with how much awesome stuff we got coming.
I know, the adventure's amazing.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It's like definitely one of my favorites.
That's like listening to the
probably
the
my
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What do I have to do to make sure? Okay, wait. I'll get into that later. I want to make this a permanent game mode, but I'll start my petition
I was asking for that.
later on. We'll get a petition going, everything like that.
Yes.
I don't know.
No, we don't need any more game modes.
Let's get right into it. Skins
Delete
is what
2 other
you're
game
here
modes,
for
and I'll let you
what
have
we're
it.
here for. Galactic Void Chernabog is our first one. This is the reward for completing the Slavic event portion of the Divine Uprising event. And this is what, I mean, everyone knew this was coming, but it's still going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I love all of the Galaxy skins that we've done. They're just so cool. The colors are amazing, and the stars and the move around. And there's like moons on his texture and his wings. You know,
There's actually gold on his
gold
wings
on his
too.
wings.
It's not on the
Yo,
front.
what
Yeah,
the-
it's
the-
true.
when they buffed Cherno, by the
it's
way,
like very subtle.
he's pretty
Everything
decent
outside
right
of the
now.
Galaxy
He's in a
texture is
pretty
very
good
subtle
spot.
on these skins, but
He can be
a
pretty
lot more
strong.
gold in this one, specifically
Yeah.
on the wings. That looks really,
It's
really
really
good.
cool. When he opens them, you can see like it's actually moving. It's like spiraling and shit.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't.
you can see.
Wow, that
see, look,
Tina,
wait.
that was literally like 45 seconds
It's
before
a
you
new
swore.
record.
Yeah, I don't know that it's even a new record at that point. It's okay. There he is in game, moving around. You can see the gold swirling around on the wings. A little bit less cosmic-y than some of the other cosmic skins, but that gold kind
his autos are
of
weird.
stands out.
But
in addition to it,
Well,
looks
the
really,
effects
really
might
good.
help.
ooh,
Effects
Did it?
certainly
Did
help.
it?
There it is, nice and the crystalline little galaxy look right there, looking pretty solid.
Yeah, colors are great.
I dig it.
Stars are great. And the
Everything's
sound
great.
effects. Yeah, everything's just great.
Everything.
I dig
The
it.
sound is really cool too.
Very. It's often like these galaxy skins are usually kind of ominous.
I love
sounding,
galaxy
like,
skins,
Have
to be
the
honest.
have the really cool sound effects. This is like an orchestra playing alongside Chernabog.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
The little glitter.
Yeah. It's stars. Shh.
Yeah, stars. Yeah, glittery stars. That's what I said.
Glittery stars.
Stars are just made of glitter.
Glitter, aren't they?
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, that's basically what the entire universe is made out of, is just glitter everywhere.
Is that the
This
science?
is when Chernabog takes to the sky
Huh.
with his ultimate. Ooh, are those
SMITE
like
science
stars?
degree.
that-
Processing.
Galaxy shadows, dude.
Yeah, well, that looks really, really cool.
Oh.
Love that front view of Chernabog there. Let's get the long range ultimate here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hyper speed.
Yeah, dude.
that was kind
if
of
you will.
spicy.
That's really, really awesome. Actually the 3D artist on this skin used to be an intern.
Yes, they did, Sparkly. Yes, they
he's
did.
just destroying skins left and right, just making great stuff. So
Nice.
shout outs to him, man. He
I
did a
dig
great
it.
job.
Awesome
I dig
shit.
it.
Yeah, really, really awesome.
It's awesome.
I believe he's got his voice pack ready, but he also has a VXG.
VXG.
So let's start with the special emote.
Oh, he's warping out.
Oh, you can move.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's pretty.
Okay, wait. How long can you do this before Chernabog gets
dizzy,
motion sick?
Yeah.
I like it.
That's so cool.
Cool.
Of course, this will end as soon as you are in combat.
Yeah.
I like it.
You can't really use it to.
Actually, it's kind of making me a little motion sick, just like trying to
away,
follow it.
Tina, look away. Look away. Look away. Everything's fine. Okay. Let's get away from the VXG so Tina doesn't mess up our nice new set.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
Good. Yes. Okay. Good. Absolutely stellar. I am out of this world. You did well. When the universe was born, I was already there. Look upon me and despair.
Ooh, a little rhyme.
Armor is all very unnecessary.
Actually, Clumsy wrote it.
The very Galaxy skin voice package.
Shouts to Clumsy.
Have you ever gazed upon anything so magnificent? I have once. It was the sun reflected in a raindrop.
Wow, that was really poetic
So
and beautiful.
deep,
Wow.
dude.
I really thought he was going to be like, I have.
It's so deep.
It's me. You know, like I definitely thought that's where that was going. But Clumsy, man, it was. I don't know what kind of music Clumsy was listening to during that, but he was really deep in the fields right there.
Yeah.
That is
Deep in the
Galactic
fields.
Void Chernabog. Again, that is your reward for completing the Slavic portion
All right,
of the Divine
then.
Uprising event. Next up is Star Trooper Achilles.
Yeah.
This comes from the Gold Vault. This part of the adventure, you get a key whenever you purchase the adventure bundle for Medusa's deathmatch, and this can be the skin that you unlock. And I've got a feeling that it's going to be very tempting to use that golden key here. This sort of aesthetic that we've gone for, it kind of reminds me of the Orbital Scout Artemis skin that we did recently.
So the
That was
story
awesome.
behind this skin is actually that he was like cryogenically asleep.
Oh man, there's a whole lore.
Thousands of years.
Thousands?
And then some man woke him up, and he's like, "Whoa, I got some new armor." And now he's still himself, but he's in the future. And has a different accent apparently.
All right. That so there's a whole story behind this. There's the unarmored version. It looks like
Take off the shirt.
Achilles.
Take off the
not
shirt.
quite the
Can we say
bare-chested
that?
beauty of the
Can we say
regular
that?
skin, but instead it got some enhanced muscles, if you will.
He's got some
Is this going to be appropriate, Tina?
fiber optic. What is it called? The
Fiber
stuff?
optic abdominals.
Abdominals.
Nice. Okay, that was appropriate. Glad that surprised me there. I like the audio attack sound nice and cool. It's not as heavy as his actual spirit sounds like. He's got a nice lightweight new galactic light spear. Right?
Yeah, right.
That's
Right.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, thank you for covering
exactly
me.
what it is.
Actually, Tina was not about to go in there with me, but you had my back. There's the ultimate fatal strike. Looking really
this
cool.
is the shirtless form. You're right. You're right.
I like the voice lines that are going along with it.
interesting.
Definitely still has that Achilles swagger to him.
Yes, so he's still Achilles. He just, I guess, got a new voice box, and now he's American.
Well, now he's got a thing on his face. That's changing his
It
voice.
changes your accent. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
he got a
got-
haircut.
right. Just may make him fit in more with his new galactic friends.
Exactly.
You know, he won't be
Exactly.
quite as strange.
Turns out there's
Let's
only
take a listen to the
America
voice
in the
pack here of
future.
Star Trooper
America.
Achilles.
Wow! Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yes, you did well for yourself. Oh man, I am something, aren't I? Do you need me to teach you to fight? Ha! Don't bring a knife to a laser fight. Whoa! I'm a hero in the past and the future.
Ah,
I'm a legend.
that's the there's the lore.
Yeah.
Stupid. I thought humans were more advanced now.
It's a
I
whole
like
story
it.
here.
That VEG is my favorite though. Can I get
It's
another?
the same actor. So.
Can I get another listen to that?
Man, I am something, aren't I?
I love
Yeah,
that.
he's got a
That is
flat
one of my
mic.
favorite
His
VEGs.
Achilles
He's
has a
Porno.
flat
He's like
mic.
the best to work with.
Sounds like
He
he's
is-
talking
he
into
really
a
is
Pringles can.
something.
It does.
He's great.
It does
There
like
he
he's
is.
talking
really
from a
is
Pringles can.
Star Trooper Achilles again. That is
does.
part of the Gold Vault. You get a gold
with you on
key
that.
whenever you purchase the Medusa's Deathmatch Adventure Bundle. Next up, Polar Vortex Kukulcan. This is part of the Divine Uprising, so if you want to get that Galactic Void Chernabog skin we showed off earlier, you definitely got to get your hands on this one. I was saying during the little preview that this reminds me of the skin from the Corrupted Arena that we did before, where Kukulcan actually has feet this time.
Yes.
I love it. I love the. He looks like a dog wanting belly rubs.
He does a little bit actually.
Yeah.
That's actually
That's not, like,
that's not a bad
Right,
take.
but, like,
upright, like erect.
Like
and
yeah.
like,
okay, we could have used a different word, but
yes.
yeah, if like if my dog had like
it means
wings.
straight. Okay, it came out as straight first, and then perverts changed it to make it sound different. All right.
Sorry, Tina. That's me. Anyways, let's get into what the abilities actually look like.
Okay.
Kind of like the
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds really cool. It sounds kind of similar to the snow Scylla skin that has like a lot of those icy effects.
Crystal sounds,
Right.
kind of like
Skin's name, I
glass
forget.
breaking against each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of more accurate, right? Like less about snow, but the iciness of it. That typhoon looks so
pretty
cool.
sick.
So normally we have
That
those
is an
tornadoes flying
erect
around,
tornado,
but, we
son.
wanted more of
Wow.
like an ice
So
pillar. So one of our tech artists, Chris Miller, actually
flimsy,
worked on
actually.
making those
It's
not
a very
spin
flimsy
the same way it used
tornado.
to. So it's a bit different now. It's a different effect.
Ooh, that looks really, really good.
That's a
Definitely.
it's pretty flimsy
the
for
iciness
being erect.
is
to be
well
honest.
conveyed, but
Should probably
has
work
its
on that.
own little look. Here's the ultimate.
Yeah, Ice
There
Dragon.
it is. That is one icy dragon
Oh my god.
right there, and
Yeah, that's some GOT stuff.
I was literally about to say, don't spoil anything for anyone.
Do you use your ultimate
Tina.
too early?
Sorry.
GOT meaning
It's okay. It happens to everyone.
God.
Call us
no,
my
no,
professional to learn how to hold
got
your
ice.
ulti a little bit
God.
longer.
Got ice dragon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Trains.
that's what we were talking about before. when yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, let's listen to the voice back.
Oxib Tra. Astounding. None compared to me. You're so cool. When you find yourself frozen in place, wondering where it all went wrong, remember, you had a chance to flee.
Ooh.
How do you applaud in a poetry slam for frost dragons? Cold snaps.
Wow, we went real deep into the bag for that joke.
Milkshakes and mortals who dare scale my mountain. Simply for a beast so cold, I have a hard time chilling out.
Tina, who did the voice pack?
Pompon did. Shout outs to Pompon.
Oh, but who's the voice actor?
Oh, the voice actor is Doc Morgan.
Doc
wow.
Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's
The
get some
Doc
cold
Morgan. I have
snaps
no idea.
for his
Cold snaps. Good
slam,
job, Pun.
his slam poetry.
Wow, that was actually really
reference.
loud.
All right, next up, Violet
rest in
Lord
peace.
Thor. This is also part
Bring on
of
the
the
daddy.
Slavic portion of the Divine Uprising event. In the back there, is that the Aphrodite skin?
Yeah, it's his friend. They're just friends right
They're
now.
I thought
just
they're
friends.
brothers and sisters.
Oh, that's why they're friends.
Just friends as
boyfriend and
sibling
girlfriend?
friends, but also not
Not.
siblings.
Wait, that can't.
Right,
they're not
you have to pick one here.
incestual.
Too.
They're like,
Right,
they're like, are they friends or are
They're
they?
just friends.
they
Best
are
friends.
hanging out together in one way or another.
But they look the same.
But they have matching armor and
Just
look very
friends,
cool together.
folks.
Wait a minute, that's not a. There's no hammer part.
They're just
No,
friends.
no, it's a scepter.
He's
then
got a
it
scepter.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Oh
Ashley.
well. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a little bit of magic going on with the scepter. It's his magic scepter, but
Am I just gonna get beat over the head with a magic scepter?
Nope.
There. Oh, you were wrong. Pops out.
Oh.
Okay, so
That's a hammer.
out of combat,
Oh,
it'll look
God,
like a
it
scepter.
pops
In
right
combat,
out.
it goes to the hammer. Oh, that sound is so good. Okay, there is something, I don't know what it is about Thor, but whoever does the auto attack sounds for every Thor skin just nails it. Like, I love the bass sound of Thor's auto attacks. I love this skin sound of the auto attacks. Someone just has a fascination with making awesome hammer sounds.
Yeah.
And they really do a good
That looks
job.
cool.
Just look at that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe the auto team just has
Ouch.
like pots and pans.
Huge.
And
Wow.
just, like hit different pots
Actually, it
and
looks
pans with
huge.
different metal spoons.
This sounds like getting beat over the head with a mythical hammer. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
There's that Tectonic Rift looks really, really cool. Kind of a golden, spiky wall.
It's
Instead.
architecture, dude. It's like golden spiked architecture.
I dig this skin. I
There's
dig
the
it.
ultimate. Wow, that awesome sound.
Dang.
Dude, the sounds on this skin are insane. which is cool because the Aphrodite skin, the sounds are really good, but the visuals of like the turquoise birds and that kind of stuff is what really gets me to love that skin. And this one has really great visuals, but the sound on this one is really standing out to me right away. Kind of like the sound team's really stepped it up. The recent Ra skin, that Sun God Ra, like the ultimate like.
Yeah, the
like,
recent Ra skin with the ultimate
here.
that you can't
Really,
hear,
really awesome.
aggro.
Good job.
That silence.
Cold snaps.
Oh, yeah, cool,
That one is that.
All right, let's
you're
take a
talking
listen to the
about?
voice back here for Violet.
Wouldn't brag
Lord
about that
Fair.
one.
Your courage is that of a bear. Truly astonishing. I am truly one of a kind. I have seen infants cry less often than you. Are you just going to stand there like cowardly dogs?
Did you just flip them off?
All right. Who brought the gnome to an orc battle? I'm not going to be a chaperone. What do you call a dead dwarf? Good riddance.
Wow. Sounds like Thor should take a tolerance class. Thor liked that one himself. Very regal sounding and
very verbally abusive.
Yeah, and also really doesn't like goblins, was it, or orcs or dwarfs? That's what it was.
Gnomes and dwarves.
Gnomes. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's move on to Queen Cobra Medusa.
Yeah,
this is the namesake of this.
The last time we saw it, it looked real
5.10 is
ugly.
Medusa's
It looked
death
real
match, and this is
ugly.
what you'll get for purchasing the Medusa's death match adventure bundle. We saw a little bit of a preview of this skin, I believe, during the teaser and demonstration of the actual adventure itself, but got to get into it. I mean,
it just looks like a
Medusa
gold
is one of my
skin.
favorite gods to play. She
It
has
doesn't
a lot
make
of
me
great
horny,
skins
to be
already.
honest with you.
So you got to get something that really
I think
stands
it's
out. And
okay.
immediately, I'm looking at the tail. I love the spiked barb at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
That thing will mess you up.
She's supposed to be kind of like Apophis, like how Apophis
Okay,
is.
from the Clash map.
And we've never actually seen Apophis.
Hey, Devil, you got your
Yeah.
Apophis.
End of
You
it.
finally got it.
Looks like a
Congratulations.
sound.
You got a
But we just
Medusa
used
skin.
A little artistic creativity there and made up what that would look like.
Ooh, are those new ability
It kind
icons
of
as well?
feels like a T2. Whoa,
Look at
those
that.
are new ability
Viper
icons.
shot.
Those are new.
All green, which is what I'm all about. Green's my favorite color, in case you guys didn't
Yes,
know.
this is my favorite color too.
Knuckles, Tina, good.
Tina's
good-
wearing a green
good
shirt
choice.
also.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tina's
you
wearing
guys
a
should
green
check out her
shirt.
green shirt later.
I like it quite a bit. She has those increased Viper shots if you missed the balance portion. Now Medusa's getting some increased Viper shot, one extra, as she ranks it up. That sound is really, really cool. Another god that I really like the sound design of.
I
is
like
Medusa.
Galaxy
think that
Medusa a
it's
lot,
very clear
so.
what she's doing, but it sounds very rewarding whenever you hit your abilities with
Yeah.
her. Is like that
Yeah.
acid spit when it connects feels real good. There's the lacerate as well. Let's take a look at the ultimate. That's always one of the best parts of Medusa skins.
It's decent.
Are they any?
Pretty bright. So
Dude, again, that is just such a meaty sound when that connects.
You're a
it's
meaty
sand.
sound,
Gold.
aggro.
Is it gold or is it sand?
I think it's sand. Oh, maybe it is. It's golden sand.
golden.
We're both right.
It's golden.
It's golden sand. That's really, really awesome.
Do you get extra gold for that?
Queen
You
Midas
should.
stuff.
Yeah, you really should.
King Midas stuff.
There it is. That's the ability
Big,
effect
meaty
for
claws.
Medusa. Love again. For me, whenever something sounds like really intense, it always makes me feel cooler when using it. That ultimate certainly has that. Let's take a listen to the voice back.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
She is a queen, I suppose.
Savage.
Wait, is she talking about Hindu Man?
God.
Oh my God, she is.
Serve me well. I am your queen. I just want to give you a big, big squeeze. That is no way to treat a queen.
The snake effects are pretty cool.
I love the snake sounds on like
No,
the
aggro.
essence.
Stop
Like,
taking my.
that's really
Come
cool.
up with your own ideas, aggro.
Just
Goodness.
wait until I drag
Stream
you
sniping,
into
high-res
the
aggro.
abyss. Did you hear about the stupid snake? He lost his skin. Live or die.
That was intense.
All right, geez, I'll laugh. Okay, Tina, who wrote this voice pack?
I did.
I had a feeling. Just the faces you.
I think she's the queen.
That entire thing.
Actually, it's
Everybody
voiced
spit.
by Tiana Camacho,
Spit for the queen.
And she
Quick.
I'd never worked with her before, and it was really fun to work with her for the first time. And she loves SMITE, so
That's awesome. Well, sounds like she did a great job. I love
Did we mention that the mask is actually a big part of the adventure yet?
No, I mean the mask is a big part of the middle of the adventure.
Right.
That is, the death mask is what you're going for in the midst of that adventure, and so she has the same mask that you'll see.
The same mask on right
One
now.
skin left,
That's
right?
really
The
cool.
Ymir
Of course,
skin.
she pulls it off during
Aphrodite.
Petrify as well. I don't know. You can kind of see it during the recall animation. There we go. Pawn's going into cinematic mode. Okay. Pawn attempted to go into cinematic. Yep. There we go. There we go, Pawn.
Go. That mask.
Pawn's got plenty of time now. He's on 0.1.
Look at those cobras, by the way. She's got new snakes.
Oh my God, she's so ugly.
Turn it off, Pawn. I don't want to look at it anymore.
That's
it's okay.
so
She's still
cool.
a bae.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she's
still
so
the queen,
ugly.
for sure. The Desert Queen, to be specific.
She is.
There
It
it
hurts.
is. That's your purchase. That's one of your reward purchases.
I want
for
Ymir
getting
to be
adventure
higher.
Bundle. Next up,
Please.
certainly not least,
Yes.
last but not least, Crystal Colossus
Thank
Ymir.
you.
And this man is certainly a Colossus. Cute. Wait, you see that and you see cute?
Yeah, he has a tail.
Wait, you see
He
it
has
too,
a
Ashley?
little tail. It's
Look
cute.
how adorable he
Look
is.
at him. He's smiling.
I
at
don't.
you.
That is, okay.
I
That,
just
to
want
us,
to
look
take
at
his
him.
face and smoosh it around.
I don't. It's made of hard crystal. I don't think you can. Now Ymir is going to get a tail here. That is not something that any other
Tail
Ymir skin
mirror.
has. He has his own tail. I gotta give shout outs to I Love Tails. He's a big member of the Paladins community. He's constantly talking about different Paladins champions and the tails that they have.
Tails?
And yep, he loves Drogos because of his tail.
God.
Now he will be
He's
a
a
Ymir main,
big mother trucker,
with
dude.
his skin.
I just love the textures on some of these skins.
This is really cool.
How do they get I just don't even know how they do that with the reflections,
Yeah.
color changing. It's just such a neat look.
Yeah, you're going to be looking
Gosh.
differently depending on where you are on the map, just based on how the light hits your skin. Is that wall looking great? Now, Crystal Colossus Ymir is part of the Crystalline bundle.
Makes
You
sense.
can grab that, and you'll get a bunch of
so
stuff. You'll get this
handsome.
skin. You'll get a fountain skin, a crystal fountain skin, and a Ymir is here avatar. Yeah.
It's super cute.
Is it?
He's so
is it
handsome.
like is it a cutesy style avatar? Is that what it's going for? Oh, nice. Okay, so that's.
Man.
I think you guys are being blinded by the cutesy avatar in this situation. I'm gonna be straight up with you. This is a cool skin. I would
like
not
it.
describe this skin as cute.
Look at
I
him.
love it.
Yeah, him going smash. That is like oh,
So cute.
Adorable.
Yeah, so cute.
adorable.
There actually was a
Adorable.
lot of iteration on his design because we wanted him to have like some kind of armor, but it didn't make sense to have this giant crystal monster wearing like really nice armor. So we kind of made it look like someone had like chained him up somewhere and put him in like we talked about like, oh, he's like in a gladiator ring or something, and he escaped.
The way I wrote him, the story behind the way I wrote him is actually he's a raid boss. So you're trying to kick his ass, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come at
Nice.
me, wusses." And then
Nice.
that's
What's
all
up, man?
it is, basically, it's just him trying to.
His
teach,
club is
like,
dinky.
25.
His club is a little bit
number one
tiny, like
surprised
compared to
that
his
he,
body. I guess.
speaks in such a PG manner. That caught me off guard a little bit. Number
Yeah.
two, I love the backstory that you're giving all these skins. That's what
Oh,
I
I know!
That's what
I
I,
should
want
do
to
that
hear
more,
about.
right?
I'm not joking with you. Every skin, I want you to tell me that your own personal head
Damn,
canon
I should have gone through and
about it.
explain
That's
like
the
Thor
best
and how
way.
he's
The
it-
best way to off the skins is like, why are we doing this?
Right.
Like, what's the story here? What happened that they're playing this game right now, or why are they
Alrighty
doing
then.
like this and this?
I should just read my casting notes every time.
Yeah, we
pretty
should-
much.
I should
The
read
best
that.
part about this skin, in my opinion, is the
Totally
wall.
should. Yeah.
The wall's like
Get ready
super
for
tall.
5.11. That update
It looks
show
pretty cool.
It's gonna be nuts already. Let's take a
It
listen to the
almost
voice
looks
back here
like
for
if you
Crystal
were gonna
Colossus
jump
Ymir.
over it, you're gonna jump through it because it's so tall.
Yes! Impressive. You are untouchable. I am unkillable. I will break every bone in your body.
Oh my God.
I see you have come to die.
Oh man,
He's so cute.
he's so cute. Yeah, man, just adorable.
My mother always knew I had different phases.
He has a mother.
Yeah, what's the backstory
A
on his
raid
family?
joke, okay? Bosses have different phases.
Oh,
Raid
true.
bosses.
Okay, that's all right. No, Tina, I'm there now. Thank you
Okay,
for
okay,
thank you for explaining
okay.
again. Crystal Colossus Ymir, that is part of the Crystalline bundle. You get an avatar.
I just
Yeah,
want
go for
to mention
it.
that the voice actor for this is Kyle Hebert, and he's the voice of Gohan and Ryu.
No way.
Yeah,
Gohan?
he's Gohan in DBZ and Ryu in Street Fighter.
That's dope. That's really cool. The voice pack sounded
Alright,
really
then.
cool. He definitely has that like a little bit of Ymir goofiness, but just a little bit. But he's also a badass.
But he's a
like,
Reboss.
Yeah, but
So he has to be
But he's also
cocky.
adorable and really cute.
Yes, he's so cute.
Yeah. Your hands will get crushed and destroyed.
I will kill you.
Yeah. Touch me and you die. And it's just like, yeah, but you're cute. And you just want to give him a little pats. That's
This
the
is
skins
getting
we got
weird.
for the 5.10
This is getting
update
weird.
show. And that is the 5.10 update
that the show?
I got to ask you, I know that we're most excited about the adventure. Which skin are you going to be?
Nope, you don't actually have to ask. All right, then. Thus